We begin with two spider women, both of whom took part in the FameLab finals in Perth. FameLab, run by the British Council and the Cheltenham Science Festival, had the Australian finals in Fremantle. And here, as a taster, is Dr Amber Beavis from the WA Museum and Lizzie Lowe from Sydney with their favourite spiders.
The genus is called Nephila, and this is a golden orb-weaving spider. So they build a really big, huge, beautiful golden web. You'll often see it up in the treetops.
Where'd you get this one from?
This one's from Bibra Lake. I collected it this morning. I was really lucky to find one down there. There's quite a few.
Oh, really? It's fresh?
Oh, yes. Yeah, we went out there with my mum this morning and collected it.
What's going to happen to it?
This one's going to go back out in the garden. I've got a lovely spot planned for it.
So you actually keep them and look after them?
Yeah, well, I'm doing my research in Sydney and I work with their sister species in Sydney, and they just love living in the city. So I don't actually need to keep them in the lab. I can just pop outside and grab a couple.
City's crowded, city's warm, city's got lots of food. I've heard you say that before.
Yes, exactly. These spiders just love living in the city. There's more food for them. It's nice and warm, as you said, and they just thrive. They love it.
And what do you think you can learn about cities from looking at spiders?
Yeah, that's a great question. The thing I'm really interested in is biodiversity. So we want to know how we can increase biodiversity. It's really important for people to have contact with nature and for animals to be able to live in the city. By looking at the way that spiders respond, I'm getting an idea of what it is about the city that actually affects these animals. So is it there's less trees, or is it that there's more concrete, or are they upset with people? Just the whole picture about how they survive.
Any findings so far?
Yeah, I find they get bigger, which is just fantastic. So these spiders, when they live in the city, they get lots of food, it's nice and warm, they grow bigger and they just love it. But that's great for me. I love the fact that anything can live in cities.
Now, your spiders, can't actually see them down there from... Oh, yes, crawling up the wall. Great big case. Now, you're from the West Australian Museum.
I am. In my current life, I'm a taxonomist, so I work on classifying and describing biodiversity, but I used to work on these guys, and they're my first love. So this is Delina canceraides, the world's only social huntsman spider. And what we have here is a big mama spider and about 20 of her babies.
And you love your spiders?
Of course. She's cute and fluffy.
They don't love you back?
These were very well behaved, actually, when I was transferring them into this case about 20 minutes ago. So I'm deeply appreciative. But they're just lovely. They have all these amazing social behaviours. So siblings will guard each other from predators, mothers will protect their young, and they live in colonies of up to 300 spiders. And they're one big, mostly happy family.
And they've got a nanny system too, haven't they?
They do. It's really cool. Basically what happens is that these mother spiders, unlike their solitary relatives, she'll leave her egg sac to go and hunt for food, which seems weird because she's leaving it open to attack from predators. But she can do that because she's got babysitters. Her other offspring, the older ones, will come in and stand at guard over the egg sac while she's out.
I wonder how that developed way back.
Oh, look, sociality in spiders is a really fascinating thing. Who knows? There's some advantage to it, obviously. But I think with these guys, what makes them unique is that most social spiders, and there aren't many of them, they've all evolved sociality because they have webs, and webs help them communicate and interact. These guys don't have webs, so they're really unique. They're one of only 2 species that are social without webs.
You said you used to study these. Have you moved on?
I'll always go catching them and I'll always observe them. I then started to do work on the Sydney funnel-web spider and worked on that one for a while. And now I'm focusing on Western Australian and Pacific Island spider species. So right now I'm doing a biodiversity checklist for a Pacific coral atoll, and I'm working on describing a whole range of different arachnids, not just spiders, from the Pilbara.
Lizzie, did you know each other before?
No, we didn't. I was really, really excited to meet Amber at this FameLab. It's been fantastic.
And likewise.
Likewise, absolutely. Yeah, spider people, we stick together.
I thought that spider people were so rare. I spotted one on the East Coast at the Queensland Museum. Robert, that's right, yes. And he said there's hundreds in America, but Australia. But now there are 3 of you.
We have actually a really fine tradition in Australia of spider scientists. Like here in WA, we have Barbara York Main, who is a really amazing example, especially to women in our field. And we were actually saying about how there's many women arachnologists, which is wonderful. So we're keeping the charge going.
What do you say to the overseas people who come out with those bloody cliches about spiders and sharks?
To be honest, I feel a little bit sorry for them. A lot of people say they won't visit Australia because of the spiders, but I think it's a great reason to visit. They just don't understand the biodiversity that we have in spiders. There's so many fascinating ones. They only think about redbacks, I think, or funnel webs. They don't realise how many amazing different species there are. So I just want to tell them about all the exciting ones they can see when they get here.
In all of my long life, I've actually seen, Amber, one set of redbacks on actually a dunny seed. Never a funnel web, even though I've lived in Sydney for 100 years. And they keep out of the way, don't they?
They're actually quite shy. Of all the spiders I've ever worked on, the funnel webs were actually the easiest to work with. They can't climb up glass. So long as you're not poking your finger at them, you're fine. And I think the biggest population of Sydney funnel web spiders sits over the biggest population of humans, which is Sydney. So it's just overlap. But I love them. They are also cute and fluffy. I stand by that.
Good luck to you both.
Thank you so much.
Thanks very much.